Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today, we have predictions for 5 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Denver Nuggets and Boston Celtics. Alright, this game between the Nuggets and Celtics is shaping up to be a real treat, especially considering both teams are in a position to make some noise come playoff time. The Celtics have had the edge in this matchup historically, and they've been the more consistent team lately. They've taken 7 out of their last 10 against Denver, and when these two teams met in January, Boston came away with a solid 118-106 win, despite Jokic being sidelined. But with the Joker back in the lineup, this one could look a whole lot different. The Celtics have hit a bit of a rough patch recently, dropping 2 tough games to Cleveland and Detroit, and honestly, those losses are a bit concerning. The game against Cleveland is particularly troubling since they were up by a comfortable margin early, only to watch that lead vanish as they fizzled out. That's not a good look, especially with the talent they have on this roster. But hey, Jason Tatum dropped 46 points, grabbed 16 boards, and dished out 9 dimes in that game, showing he's still in top form. Jaylen Brown chipped in 37 as well, but beyond that, it was slim pickings for the Celtics. For them to get back on track against a team like Denver, they need more from the supporting cast. We're talking guys like Derek White and the bigs like Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford stepping up. Now, Denver's been a bit all over the place lately too, but with the way Jokic has been playing, it's hard to bet against them. He's been putting up triple-doubles like it's nothing, and when he's rolling, Denver is tough to stop. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. have also been lighting it up, and that trio can hang with anybody in the league. The issue for the Nuggets, though, is their depth. Sure, Jokic can do his thing, but the bench guys, especially veterans like Russell Westbrook and Dario Saric, haven't exactly been consistent. It's tough to rely on them when the games start to really matter. What really sticks out here is that Denver's been struggling on the road. This is the last game of their East Coast road trip, and let's be real, teams tend to tire out in these situations. Historically, the Nuggets aren't the same juggernaut away from home that they are in Denver. And considering Boston is coming off 2 tough losses, they're going to come up fired up and ready to bounce back. When they're at full strength, the Celtics are one of the most well-rounded teams in the league, and playing at home is a big boost. If they can get Porzingis back into the mix, and possibly Drew Holiday as well, that'll make them even tougher to beat. One thing the Celtics do better than anyone is defense. They've got the length, the versatility, and the grit to make life hard for opposing offenses, and they'll need all of that to slow down Jokic. If they can keep him from dominating and control the paint, they'll have a real shot at winning this one. The Nuggets will need to hit their shots, protect the ball, and get some stops on the other end to keep this one close. But I'm not sold on their ability to execute in such a tough environment. So, I'm leaning toward the Celtics here. They've got the home court advantage, they're the deeper team, and after 2 tough losses, I expect them to come out with something to prove. Denver has been playing well, no doubt, but with the fatigue factor kicking in and Boston coming off those losses, I think the Celtics get the job done today. It's going to be a hard-fought battle, but I'm rolling with Boston to cover the spread and come away with a win.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Portland Trail Blazers and Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been absolutely balling this season. They're sitting pretty at the top of the Eastern Conference with a jaw-dropping 49 wins in 59 games, and it's clear they're not just going through the motions. Their win over the Boston Celtics was huge, and not just because it was a close game. They were down by 20 at one point, but came storming back to seal the 123-116 victory. That kind of grit shows this team is hungry. Donovan Mitchell has been the heart of the squad, dropping 41 points in that game, and he's averaging 24.3 points per game for the season. Then you've got Darius Garland, who's been playing like a true point guard, putting up 20 points and 7 assists in that win. But the real gem here has been Evan Mobley, who not only scored 17 points, but also grabbed 12 boards and shut down the paint. If this team stays locked in, they're a serious threat. Now, let's talk about the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm honestly surprised by how well they've been playing. They're on a 4-game win streak, which has taken some folks by surprise. They were expected to be at the bottom of the West, but instead, they're right in the hunt for a play-in spot. Sure, their recent wins have come against teams like Brooklyn, Washington, Utah, and Charlotte, but putting up 120-plus points in 3 of those 4 games shows their offense is clicking. They've got a scrappy group, led by Shaedon Sharpe, who's been putting up solid numbers, averaging 17.5 points per game this season. Anthony Simons has also been steady, making it clear he's got a place in this team's future. They might not have the star power of other squads, but Portland plays with that underdog mentality, especially on defense, and that's been causing problems for teams. The Blazers have definitely been covering the spread lately, hitting in 14 of their last 19 games. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When they've faced better teams, like the Nuggets or Timberwolves, they've been exposed. They've had some tough losses, getting beat by double digits in those matchups. And let's be honest, going up against a squad like Cleveland is a whole different beast. With the Cavs rolling and playing as well as they are, Portland's going to have their work cut out for them, especially with Mitchell not in the lineup. But here's where I think the Blazers might have a shot. Cleveland just came off a huge win, and that emotional high could lead to a little bit of a letdown. And even with the Cavs still being the stronger team overall, Portland has been sneaky good, especially when they've been counted out. The Cavaliers have been on fire at home, winning 6 of their last 7 games there, and their record against the spread is among the best in the league. But with Mitchell sitting out, there's a real chance that Portland can hang around. The Blazers are playing with confidence, and even though they've had their fair share of struggles, they've managed to surprise a lot of people this season. I still expect Cleveland to take this one, but don't be shocked if Portland keeps it closer than expected. A 12-point spread might be too much, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Blazers end up covering or even pulling off a surprise upset. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The third prediction for today is for a game between the New York Knicks and Miami Heat. This one between the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat is shaping up to be a real battle. The Knicks, sitting comfortably at 39-20, have been rolling with one of the most potent offenses in the league. They're ranked 3rd in offensive rating and 5th in points per game, and that's largely thanks to Jalen Brunson, who's been lighting it up. Adding Karl Anthony Towns to the mix has taken their scoring to another level. Sure, they've cooled off a bit recently, having not cracked 114 points in their last 5, but they still have one of the most dangerous offensive lineups in the league. The return of Mitchell Robinson is also huge for them, as his rebounding and rim protection will shore up their defense, which has been a bit leaky at times, sitting at 20th in defensive rating. Miami, though, is a different story. Sitting at 28-30, they've been trying to find consistency all season long. Lately, they've been carried by some insane shooting performances, especially against the Pacers and Hawks, where they shot 53% and 59%, respectively. That kind of efficiency has been a bit of an anomaly for them this season, and they can't rely on that level of shooting every night. Tyler Herro continues to be the go-to guy, but the emergence of Davion Mitchell and Duncan Robinson has been key too. Mitchell, who's usually known for his defense, dropped a shocking 5 from 3 in that Atlanta win, showing he can contribute in ways people didn't expect. But even with those flashes, the Heat have struggled with their offense all year, sitting just 18th in offensive rating. Their defense, while solid at 11th in defensive rating, hasn't been enough to cover up their offensive inefficiencies. And then there's the issue of the Heat's home record, which has been underwhelming at best. They're only 14-11 at home, which isn't great, especially when you compare it to the Knicks, who've been solid on the road, holding an 18-10 record. The Heat will also be without Andrew Wiggins and Jamie Joquez Jr., two guys who would have provided valuable depth, so that's going to hurt them even more. For the Knicks, this is a chance to continue building momentum. They've been winning games in tight fashion, with most of their wins since the break being by slim margins, like that 1-point win over the Hawks and a 5-point win over the Sixers. But even with those close calls, they've got the tools to dominate this matchup. Brunson and Towns have been too good, and with Robinson back, the Knicks' defense will be much tougher to break through. So, looking at all this, it's hard for me to see Miami pulling this one off, especially given their injury situation and lack of consistency. The Knicks have the full roster ready to go and have been playing at a high level all season. I expect them to take care of business here, cover the 5-point spread, and come out with a much-needed road win. The Heat might surprise with a few big shots, but in the end, I'm betting on the Knicks to take control and keep building momentum toward the playoffs. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Los Angeles Clippers and Los Angeles Lakers. Alright, looking at this one, I'm actually backing the Clippers to pull off the win. The Lakers have been rolling lately, no doubt. They're sitting comfortably in the 4th spot in the West with a 37-21 record and riding high on a 5-game win streak. LeBron is doing his thing, still playing like a top-tier guy at 40, and Luka Doncic's recent trade to LA is obviously huge, even though he's still getting acclimated. The Lakers have been finding ways to win games, even in tight situations, like that 106-102 victory over the Clippers last time out. But I'm going to flip the script here. While the Clippers have been a bit up and down lately, they're still a dangerous squad. Their road record hasn't been great, 1-4 in their last 5, but don't sleep on them. Despite losing Paul George to free agency and Kawhi Leonard missing time with injury, the Clippers have pieces that can still make things happen. Norman Powell is having a breakout season, putting up 24.2 points per game, and James Harden is distributing like crazy, averaging 8.5 assists. Zubac's been solid down low too, giving them much-needed presence in the paint. Their offense has been shaky, but their defense is a whole different story, ranked 4th in the league for a reason. If they can lean into their defense, they're going to be tough to crack. Now, for this game, I'm leaning toward the Clippers for a few reasons. Yeah, the Lakers are rolling right now, but the Clippers have the tools to slow them down, especially on defense. Kawhi's back, and that's going to make a huge difference. The Lakers are still figuring things out with Luka, and even though LeBron can take over a game, the Clippers' defense can make life tough for him. This team is more complete than people think, and they'll be hungry to turn their road struggles around. The key here is going to be slowing the pace and controlling the tempo. The Clippers' defense will be crucial in limiting the Lakers' offensive rhythm. On the total points side of things, both of these teams have been solid under teams this season. The Clippers have hit the under 32 times this year, and the Lakers aren't far behind. Both squads play a slower pace, which means fewer possessions and fewer chances to put up big numbers. So, I'm expecting a grinded-out, low-scoring affair here, and the under seems like the safe bet. So, in the end, I'm going with the Clippers to get the W. Their defense is the difference in this one, and with the Lakers still figuring out how to gel with Luka, I think the Clippers' defensive chops will win out. It'll be a close one, but I believe they get it done. And with the slow pace and both teams' defensive-minded play, the under is looking like the smart move. The fifth prediction for today is for a game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and Phoenix Suns. This one's going to be a clash of two teams that are really battling right now. The Phoenix Suns were once looking like a solid contender, especially after some strong performances in January, but they've totally hit the skids in February. With just 3 wins in their last 13 games, they're sitting at a 28-32 record, well outside the playoff race in the West. The Suns are clinging to the hope of making the play-in tournament, But realistically, they're going to have to scrap for that ninth spot if they want any shot at postseason play. It's been rough for the Suns, especially after the huge moves they made, bringing in stars like Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. But the star trio just hasn't worked out like they hoped. Durant can't produce like he used to, Booker's been a bit up and down, and Beal's been a massive disappointment this year. Add in a lack of depth behind them and some of the worst defense in the league, and it's a recipe for struggles. Now, Minnesota's not in much of a better spot. They're sitting at 32-29, right on the edge of the play-in tournament. After a strong run last season, including making it to the Western Conference Finals, the Timberwolves have fallen off this year. The trade with New York for Julius Randle has backfired big time. Randle's been out with a groin injury, and without him, the Timberwolves' offense has taken a hit. Sure, they've still got Anthony Edwards, but even he's had to carry a lot of weight. Karl Anthony Towns is still a good player, but he's nowhere near the guy he was last season. The team's numbers across the board have dipped: offense, defense, and rebounding. Their depth's been shaky, and they're going to miss Randle's scoring and versatility in this game. But hey, on the bright side, Naz Reid stepped up big time recently, and he's been one of the few guys on the team keeping things afloat. When it comes to betting, neither of these teams has been great at covering the spread. Phoenix has been absolutely brutal this season, holding the worst record against the spread in the NBA at 21-38-1. Their big names, Durant, Booker, and Beal, are often enough to get the odds inflated, but the Suns haven't been able to back it up on the court. Minnesota's not much better at 26-34-1 against the spread. The Timberwolves have been overrated all season long, especially after last year's playoff run, and it's been hard for them to cover big numbers with the inconsistency in their play. Minnesota has had Phoenix's number recently, winning the last 6 matchups between the two teams. The last time they met in January, the Timberwolves won 121-113, and they've just generally owned the series. But this time, things are different. With Gobert out and Randle potentially limited, the Timberwolves' chances take a hit. Even if Randle does make a return, his minutes will likely be restricted, and that's a big deal. On Phoenix's side, they've been playing a bit better at home, and despite their struggles this season, they've shown signs of life, like when they stopped their 3-game losing streak with a solid win over the Pelicans. With role players like Bol Bol, Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, and Nick Richards stepping up, the Suns are finding a little bit of consistency that could give them the edge in this game. Looking at it all, I've got to give this one to Phoenix. Minnesota's been shaky on the road, and with their injuries and lack of depth, I think the Suns have the upper hand. They've got a solid chance to not only win this game, but to cover the spread as well. The Timberwolves just don't have the horses to hang with Phoenix right now, especially in Phoenix. So yeah, I'm going with the Suns to take this one and get the W.